Hi there. Welcome to the first module in the Transition series. My name is Stephanie Lloyd and I'll be your instructor. In this course, we will explore how unemployment affects the mind and how to overcome its effects. This is me. No, just kidding. This is me. Let's get started. Part 1. Let's first have a quick look at what we are going to cover in this module. We're going to look at what a transition is, the characteristics of a transition, what is the difference between a transition and hard times, the different types of transitions, and the purpose of a transition. Transitions are a part of life. Heck, life is one long transition. We see it in all of creation. We see it when day changes into night, summer into autumn, and high tide into low tide. We are constantly in a process of change from the day we are born. We transition from infant into toddler, toddler into child, child into teenager, teenager into adult, and adult into senior. It never ends. The only thing that is constant is change. What is a transition? The definition of a transition is the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. A transition is the period before and after a season. Change is necessary. We learn from the book of Ecclesiastes, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. There's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to rend, and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. Now let's look at the characteristics of a transition. One of the characteristics is it's a process. This means a few different things have to happen in a season for us to experience and learn to change. It occurs over a period of time. It doesn't all happen at once. It happens over a period of time, within a season. A change occurs. One state or condition changes into another. The particular condition that someone or something is in at a specific time changes in appearance, quality, or working order. So to recap, the characteristics of a transition is it's a process, it occurs over a period of time, a change occurs, and the state or condition of someone or something changes in appearance, quality, or working order. A lot of people mistake transitions for hard times. There are no real difference between hard times and a transition. There are only perceptions. Someone who's struggling to adjust to new circumstances will say, I'm going through a hard time. Whereas someone who recognizes that it's a temporary situation will see it as a transition. That's the difference between someone experiencing a hard time and someone that's going through a transition. It's all based on how the person perceives their situation or circumstances. Types of transitions. There are three main types of transitions. First up, the curveball. I'm sure we all know the curveball transition. This type of transition comes out of the blue. It is unexpected, unplanned, and usually knocks us off our feet, making us feel unbalanced. Unemployment is a perfect example of a curveball transition. Next up, planned transitions. A planned transition is one when we've made a decision to change an aspect of our lives with the expectation that our lives will be better and easier, but it doesn't work out that way. And then lastly, the natural transition. A natural transition is one that is part of life. For example, when two people marry or they become parents or a close friend or family member dies. These are all natural transitions. What is the purpose of a transition? Ecclesiastes 3 says, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose. Let's break the sentence up to find out what the purpose is of a transition. So if we look at the word everything in the context of the sentence, it means nothing is left unchanged. Everything has to undergo change. When we take out the word time and look at it closely in the context of the sentence, we can see that it means that in our lives a time is set apart for every experience. Now lastly, if we take the word every refers to every lesson, every reason, and every meaning behind an experience. So if we add all of this up, we find that the purpose of a transition is to mature. Transitions prepare us for our summers and winters. Transitions are a part of life. Heck, life is one long transition. We see it in all of creation. We see it when day changes into night, summer into autumn, and high tide into low tide. We are constantly in a process of change from the day we are born. We transition from infant into toddler, toddler into child, child into teenager, teenager into adult, and adult into senior. It never ends.